Welcome to another episode of No Rules Cooking with Irene.
Hello everyone. Today's show is pretty special to me because I'm making something that's near and dear to my heart, something I've grown up eating my entire life. It's my mom's special recipe of gnocchis with sauerkraut. It's a Czech recipe and it is so delicious.
Chock full of cat hair.
I know the last time I made something called flitschki with cabbage. This is completely different. These are potato gnocchis made with sauerkraut.
And cat hair.
So we're going to start off with our basic gnocchi recipe and then continue from there. So far I'm making a big batch, by the way. So this is how we're starting. Got 5 cups of flour, about a teaspoon of salt, made a little well. Now I have already boiled my potatoes and peeled them. So we're going to put them through a ricer and just plop them right in the middle of this flour here. Ooh. So this is how it's done. Oh, you need some muscle for this, I tell you. Ooh. So we're going to do this with all these potatoes. Now, for this batch, I've got approximately 16 fairly small sized potatoes. So, whoa, I might need some extra muscle help for this. Okay, so we're going to do this and then we're going to come back. Okay, so we've got all our potatoes riced and on top of our flour. And I'm just going to add a couple pinches of black and white pepper. Now at this point, if you want to make an Italian style gnocchi, you can add some herbs, some dried basil, dried oregano. I'm not going to because I don't always make my gnocchi into an Italian dish. For example, tonight is definitely not an Italian dish. So what we're going to do now is add 3 slightly beaten eggs and just kind of pour it all over the top. And we're going to get right in there with our hands. And you know my rule, take off the rings. So I'm telling you, it's not fun cleaning these babies when you get them full of dough. So we're going to knead our dough, and you're just going to keep on kneading it until it all comes together into a nice soft lump. Now, if you find there's too much flour, it's not a worry. Remember, there's no rules. You can add an extra egg to give it a little more moisture, which I probably am going to do because I can kind of feel that it might be needing an extra egg. So I have actually also added 1 cup of cottage or ricotta cheese. In this case, I've added cottage. But cottage cheese is a lot lumpier than ricotta, so I have kind of processed that with a potato masher. So we've added that as well. Now that gives it a really nice softness to the gnocchi. You don't have to, again, there's no rules with this kind of stuff. You don't have any cottage cheese, you don't have to add it. But it does taste nice, and you can also add a Parmesan cheese if you want.
And if you're not at your cottage, at your house, you can add house cheese.
Ha ha. So we're going to have some fun and knead this up. And it's quite sticky, and that's okay. You can add a little extra flour if you find it's way too sticky, because you don't want it too sticky. We're back. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a pretty nice formed ball of dough. It's still super soft, but not sticky. And that's what you want. So in the end, we ended up with 6 cups of flour, 4 eggs, a cup of ricotta or cottage cheese, and our 16 small potatoes. So now comes the fun part. We're going to divide it into just little sections. It doesn't matter how big, because it just makes it easier to roll out when they're in smaller sections. Make sure your surface is nicely floured And you're just going to make little sausage rolls. Take a section and just roll it out, just like so. Easy peasy, breezy. Huh?
He's hungry.
Bill, this is a family-friendly show. So we're gonna make it into probably the size of, I don't know, your thumb. No major rules here. Whatever you think. Okay, and once you got that to the right size, just fold it in half. Take a knife, or if you have one of these really nice scrapers, it's great. Take them and just boom, boom, oops, into little sections. This is as easy as it gets. Now, I don't get fussy with rolling them on a fork to make them look pretty, because quite honestly, they don't taste any different. And this is the way my mom's always made them, and this is the way I will always make them. So you're going to repeat that process till all the dough is done, and then we're going to have a look and see what we come up with. Okay, we're finished rolling them all out. And this is what we've come up with here. Quite a few. And I already have an entire tray freezing so that they can be put away for later use. So I like to freeze them loose like this so that when they're put in a bag, they don't stick together. So that's that. So later on, we will complete our gnocchis with sauerkraut. And that's it. And we're back. So we are going to start on our sauerkraut and cabbage. Sauerkraut and onion portion. So we are starting off by frying up 2 medium-sized onions with some bacon fat. You don't have to use bacon fat. Keep it vegetarian, vegan if you want. You can use olive oil. And we're going to fry up the onions. And once they're nicely caramelized, we're going to add our sauerkraut. Onions are frying up nicely. I'll probably need a few minutes. That's just our bacon residue in that fat. Yummy, yummy flavor. So we're going to let that cook up for a little bit. Now, when choosing sauerkraut, I am lucky enough to have a mother that makes homemade sauerkraut. She ferments her own cabbage, and it is the best tasting sauerkraut you've ever had. I'm telling you, there's just nothing like it. You can find really good sauerkraut at any health food store. Make sure it isn't a wine sauerkraut, that it's actually a naturally fermented sauerkraut when you buy it. It does make a difference, I promise you. So this is our sauerkraut, and that's going to be thrown in with the onions very soon, and that will be fried up as well. I apologize, I did say that you could make this vegan friendly by not adding bacon fat, but I take that back. It's only vegetarian friendly. There are eggs in the gnocchi, so once again, I'm sorry. Okay. So we've added our sauerkraut to our onions, and we're going to fry that up for probably a good 10 minutes. And at this point, you can season it with a little salt and pepper if you like. Or what I'm going to do is season it with some Vegeta. And again, I've spoken about Vegeta before. You can buy it at any European store or even your local grocery store. So I'm putting a tablespoon in. Okay. In the meantime, while that's frying, I've got a big pot of water that's going to start bubbling soon. And we're going to put our gnocchi in. And that water has been salted. Okay, we're ready for the final step. Now, just keep in mind, the quantity of cabbage to gnocchis isn't as important as just the ingredients that goes in. Because sometimes you like a little more cabbage. I like a lot of cabbage, so. Okay, so we're gonna take our cooked gnocchis. They floated to the top. They've only taken about 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm going to dump them all into my cabbage mixture. Let's get all those goodies out of there. A few more. Oh. Keep on scooping. Oh my goodness, they're hiding in there. Okay, and we're gonna just stir this all up. That does look so good, and I'm telling you, it smells even better. And that basically concludes this recipe. Now, in Croatian, I know this is a Czech recipe, but in Croatian, this is called Knedle za kupus.
Kupus means
So, which means gnocchis with sauerkraut. Knedle za kupus. And it is something that my mom and my grandmother have been making their whole lives. And there isn't a Christmas or a birthday growing up that my mom didn't make this, and Thanksgiving, because she knows how much I love it. We're gonna give this a little taste test.
Yes, it's very sad. The Christmas tree is gone finally.
He's so silly. So we're gonna get a good amount of cabbage on there. Get a nice little gnocchi. Ooh, it's steamy. Mm. 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 Thank you everyone for watching this very special show, and give it a try sometime. It's delicious. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.